In this episode, we talk about swimmer's ear, how to get your toddler to sleep through the night, seasonal allergies, and how to wean your baby. You don't need to be afraid. You can handle this, and here's how you do it.
The Ask Dr. Mom Show.
Welcome to the Ask Dr. Mom Show, episode 10. In the first couple of episodes, at the very end, I challenged you to go out and pick one thing that you could do in the following week that would contribute to your health, whether it be drinking more water, getting more exercise, making sure that there is more live food in the diet. I have actually heard back from several of you and have enjoyed all of your comments, and am glad to know that you are thinking along those lines of becoming more healthy. In fact, a couple of you noticed the Fitbit that I have worn in the last couple of episodes. And so I wanted to take just a minute and let you know that I'm right there with you. Like many of you, over the last couple of decades, I have taken care of everyone except me. And I have now hit a stage in my life where I am learning how to love myself enough to make myself a priority and to get on the path to optimal health. So, I hope that you will continue to let me know how you're doing on your journey. And together, I hope that we can encourage each other to make this journey to optimal health. The two things that I am really focused on right now is making sure that I am actually getting enough water to drink every day, and that I am getting in at least 10,000 steps per day, which is close to 4.5 miles. I am trying to do that at least 5 days out of 7, and so far I'm averaging about 5 miles. I cannot just get on a treadmill, it drives me crazy, and I can't just wander the streets of town without a purpose. And so what I have been trying to do is things that I would normally do in the car, I am now walking to do. For instance, this month when I needed to pay the rent on my office space, instead of getting in the car and driving over to the office of my landlord, I hiked across town to deliver that. I have found that if I am actually on an errand of some kind, doing something that needed to be done anyway, it makes it a lot easier for me to get those steps in. So please continue to share with me the steps that you are taking on your journey. Okay, Hans, what do we have for question number 1?
Sarah says, my 2-year-old has a hard time sleeping through the night. What would you recommend to help her sleep?
Sarah, this age is often referred to as the terrible twos, simply because it is a challenging time. These incredible young children, their minds are racing, they're learning, they already have a pre-developed personality, but their ability to communicate and to express themselves is still underdeveloped, and so it can be a very frustrating time for them. Without knowing the circumstances of what you're dealing with, and by that I mean, is she waking up with nightmares? Is she waking up because she has to go to the bathroom? Is she waking up because she wants to get into bed with you? Without knowing those details, I will just throw out some ideas that I used with my own children and I have seen my daughters use with my grandchildren. One of the very first things that I would do is make sure that during the day she is being physically active, meaning that you're going outside, maybe down to the park or just in the backyard, and doing something that is physically active, so that not only is she developing motor skills and reasoning skills, but she is becoming physically tired. Another thing I would do is make sure that you are setting a consistent bedtime every night so that you're developing a routine. That might be 8 o'clock, 8:30, whatever works the best for you and your child. But I would try to make that bedtime consistent. I would also try to make dinner time consistent. So let's say you're eating dinner at 6 o'clock. For the next 2 hours until bedtime, I would make sure that she is not getting any stimulating snacks such as processed sugars or caffeine or anything that would keep her wired. I would also make sure that an hour before bedtime, any type of television stops for her so that she is not getting that stimulation from whatever she's watching on TV. And then when you do put her to bed, I would also develop a quiet, peaceful routine there where she is getting a bedtime story, or maybe you're singing songs together, or maybe you're just laying with her and cuddling with her until she falls asleep. And then if she is still having restless nights, I would probably consider putting an essential oil diffuser somewhere in her room where I could diffuse something like lavender oil that might help her to relax and to calm down from the day. Okay, Hans, what do we have for question number 2?
All right. Marianne says, I have been having trouble going to sleep at night due to wheezing. I think I may be allergic to something. How long should I eliminate foods such as dairy meats, gluten from my diet to know if it was the issue?
Marianne, if this were me and I thought it was due to one of those types of foods, I would eliminate them for at least 30 days to give my system a chance to flush it all out, not come in contact with it, and see if that makes a difference. If you think this could possibly be seasonal allergies, such as, the pollen or whatever's in the air, then what my family usually does is we take a cup and put about this much water in it, so not very much. And then we add roughly 3 drops of lavender essential oil, 3 drops of lemon essential oil, and 3 drops of peppermint essential oil. And we just guzzle that down. And I've been absolutely amazed at the difference it makes for seasonal allergies. Some of us only have to do it once and we're good for the season. My husband has to do it on a daily basis when certain allergens are in the air. But for each of us, it has made a tremendous amount of difference. Now, if you're going to try this in your family, make sure that you're using a high quality essential oil that is actually food grade. But we've seen it make a tremendous difference in our family. Hans, what do we have for question number 3?
Rebecca says, I have been nursing my baby for over a year now and am beginning the weaning process. I do not want to give my baby cow's milk. What alternative could you recommend? I know my little one wouldn't want to give up her bottle just yet.
Rebecca, congratulations on being able to nurse your baby for a year. That you have given her the best start possible. Now, when you start the weaning process and want to keep a bottle going, the closest thing that we have to human milk is raw goat's milk. And so if you know someone who has goats and you know that they're fed well and they're in a clean environment, that would probably be the first place that I would turn. You can purchase powdered goat's milk, which of course is not going to have nearly all of the elements as the fresh raw goat's milk, but it could be used as an alternative. The one thing that I usually do when I turn to the raw goat's milk is there are a few things that it's kind of low in that human milk tends to be high in. And so I would probably go to my local health food store and find a good liquid children's vitamin that could be added to the milk. And the second thing that I usually do is in at least one bottle per day, I would add a little bit of flax oil just to make sure that they're getting all the omegas that they need for brain development. Okay, Hans, question number 4.
Clarissa says, my 6-year-old daughter often gets ear pains after swimming lessons. I am not sure if it is an ear infection or just water buildup or irritation. What can I do to ease her pain? Any suggestions for what to do before swimming class to help prevent these earaches?
Clarissa, when my children were young and we lived in Florida and had our own pool, they would often get something known as swimmer's ear that sounds a lot like what your daughter is experiencing. And back then, I used to mix equal parts of rubbing alcohol and white vinegar. And then I would put a couple of drops in their ear. Sometimes I would even put it on a Q-tip and just swab their ear a little bit. And that seemed to help clear up the problem. If I was dealing with this today, then I would probably use the kids' ear oil that has the mullein oil and the garlic in it, because that has been formulated to help kill bacteria and to break up congestion. As far as preventing it from happening, I think probably the only thing you could do to help prevent it would be to have them use some type of earplugs so that the water isn't getting down into the ear. Thank you so much for your questions and your comments. We appreciate your involvement. This has been the Ask Dr. Mom Show, and I'm Sandra Ellis.